ready?
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Hey, a little shout out to the VIPs. The next episode is out and ready to go. And by the way, if you want to subscribe, you can do so through YouTube, or you can do so through Apple Music. We're still working on the Spotify version. How much does it cost? It's $4 a month.
No, not true. It's $3.99.
Okay, fair enough. $3.99 a month.
And on Apple, you get a 14-day free trial if you just want to check out the episodes.
Yeah, and if you want to rip us off.
Some people were saying if you have YouTube Premium, it comes with like a 30-day trial. I don't have YouTube Premium.
I have Premium.
Yeah. You should check it. You should try it if it comes with that.
Well,
that's an amazing deal.
I can watch it. But yeah, no, it's cool. Like, and I think.
Oh yeah, you just have access to the back end.
No, I watch. I actually like when.
Oh, you subscribe.
Well, because I think it's important to watch things the way that the people that watch our show would watch them.
Ah.
Right? If I go in the back end, that's not really fair. I want to see it like, is this easy to watch? Are people going to enjoy this? These are the things that you have to do to check on yourself, you know? Anyway, it helps a small business like ours, and it also is a lot of fun. We had some hot takes on Valentine's Day, and I know that doesn't sound like the most interesting thing right now, but I hate Valentine's Day, and you can find out why.
Yes.
And it's not because I'm divorced.
It's a little bit.
It's not because I'm
Partly.
divorced. I hated Valentine's Day before I got divorced.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Jesse knows.
No, you did. You did indeed hate it before you were divorced.
I've been a
He
hater.
hates it more because
No, it's not.
because it's divorced.
All right, let's talk about last night before the game. Morgan Rielly. It was announced he will have an in-person hearing today. It's probably going on right now with Brad Treliving, Morgan Rielly's agent, and the lawyers from the NHLPA. This will be in person, appealing directly to G-Bets. And what's interesting about the way this works is, had the NHL gone to 6 games, they would have been able to appeal to Gary. Gary would have been able to uphold the suspension, and then they would have been able to go to a neutral arbitrator. But knowing that they probably were over-suspending this player, they went, let's not do 6, let's do 5, so they can take the arbitrator out of it. So whatever Gary Bettman says today is final. I have to ask the NHLPA how they ever allowed this type of negotiation to happen. It's interesting with the NHL too, and I want to say this.
Because they didn't do anything for like a quarter century.
The MLB, if you appeal your suspension, you get to play. Because the way an appeal works is that you're appealing to the powers that be, or to a higher court in the case of law.
Right.
And a lot of times people who are appealing are out on whatever. They're out on bond, out on bail, whatever. In this particular case, in hockey, you have to serve the suspension. You never get those games back.
Nope.
And the only thing you might get is a few bucks back, which, I mean, for NHL players is a lot of money. But at the end of the day, you still lose those games, and the team still loses that cap space, which then can be reactivated retroactively. It's all a pain in the ass.
It's an incredible pain in the ass.
How the PA even let it get to this point is shocking.
Well, like one of the things the other day when they announced all those guys were sick, Marner and Tavares, and then the next day Nylander at practice, I'm like, okay, how many more illnesses or injuries away are the Leafs from not being able to ice a full roster because of the cap?
Yeah.
I didn't know the answer. Mm-hmm. And that is it's a very common theme with the NHL.
It is. So
I do like, though, that you said NHLPA lawyers. So there's going to be a lawyer there arguing on behalf of Morgan Rielly and one arguing on behalf of Rielly Grigg, because they're both members of the union.
right.
That's how it works.
That's not how it works.
I believe that's
Oh, it's not?
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
it's just random?
No, in this case, the NHL is aligned with Rielly Grigg. Rielly Grigg is a product of the man, you could say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rielly Grigg.
Rielly Grigg is
Cop.
pro-establishment.
Yeah.
He's total cop.
How dare you, Rielly Grigg?
He's not even a cop. He's a hall monitor.
Whoa.
He's the one who's digging you for, like, giving you. He's like the student that gives you detention for going to the bathroom and hanging out too long by your lockers.
Listen, no one likes the Leafs. We've acknowledged that Morgan Rielly deserved to be suspended.
No, it's not enough, Steve.
No, yeah, but for me, this is How do you like your monster, Dr. Frankenstein? They've gone all this time without giving out adequate suspensions, and now they're finally going to do it against the team that I cheer for? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me while I watch the world burn.
CJ wrote an article in The Athletic today about how there's a possibility that Rielly's could get that 1 game back and then get down to 4, and that since they're having the hearing today and it usually takes 1 to 3 days post-hearing for Gary Bettman to make his decision, that Rielly could miss the 4 games and then Gary can make that decision in time for the 5th, and then he could play the 5th, and it's $39,000 a game that he's
Whoa, that's a lot of money.
That's what he's fighting for today. He's fighting for $40,000, which is not insignificant
That's
at
a
all.
Dodge Caravan.
That's 8 times the maximum fine under the CBA.
Can I ask you guys something?
It's a lot of money.
How hilarious is it? Because when it was reported yesterday that Gary Bettman had moved up his time frame to see that, I'm like, you mean Gary Bettman
did his job?
Did his job.
Yeah.
And what's hilarious is that when I remember with Dennis Wide, remember that was the 20 game thing for hitting the ref?
Yes.
Gary Bettman took his time.
Yeah.
Meeting with, he was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go as slow as humanly possible.
I'm going to let the biggest story in hockey right now drag on for as long as possible.
Well, what's hilarious about the NHLPA here too, and this is all stuff I hope Marty Walsh is writing down on his notepad for the next CBA discussions, is there's no timetable that Gary Bettman is held to for the appeals. So you have the right to an appeal and you have the right to it relatively quickly, but there's no set hours. It should be within 48 hours, within 24 hours, within 72. Nothing is written down.
Have you noticed that every single conversation that involves this man involves none of us knowing what's going on and vague rules that he can just sort of bend to his will?
Yeah. Notice that.
He's been
It's
in
on
charge
purpose.
since,
That's literally why it's written like that, so he can make any decision he wants.
And he's been in charge since 1993. He's going to be in charge for another, 3-4 seasons?
Yeah.
Good league.
At least, yeah.
Great league. Now, Detroit and Vancouver were warned before the game, and everybody said, well, it's because of Morgan Rielly. No, it's because Walman did the gritty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Alexander Ovechkin got accosted for pretending to light his stick on fire over a decade ago because of Morgan Rielly in 2024. What? Again, what is with this phenomenon of everyone pretending like they just flicked on a hockey game for the first time?
It's always about the Leafs. And by the way, the Walman thing and the Morgan Rielly thing are completely different, right? The Ridley Gregg thing, I'll call it, because it's really, it was Ridley's move with that, the slap shot into the empty net that caused the thing. Jake Walman is the cause of this situation, which is he did the gritty and, we can't celebrate after goals. No one has said that. No one has said that. Everybody loves the Alexander Ovechkin. Yeah. My stick is on fire. I didn't mind the Walman thing. And I know that Nikita Zadorov taunted him a little bit after they got mixed up, and he did a boomer version of the gritty.
He sure did.
Nikita Zadorov cannot gritty to save his life.
Not really. He can flap his arms, though.
And I was told by Twitter that that's how you deal with your problems.
That's how hockey players always deal with their problems. It's funny that Twitter chose to focus on that one and not the one that I chose to focus on. The Florida Panthers didn't like a hit, so each of them grabbed a partner and beat the shit out of them.
That's fine.
On the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Completely fine.
Well, it's allowed.
Yeah. Now, I love this quote. Torts is, for better or worse, always a good quote. And he was asked about it coming into Toronto. And it takes him a bit to formulate his words because you can almost see the wheels turning. Like, if I say that, I'll get suspended. If I say that, I'll get suspended. That'll get me a fine. Okay, I'll just say this. You could see him trying to get to the point, but trying to satisfy it as well. So go ahead.
It's a dumb league. It is. It's changed for coaches too, and we've had to make adjustments because there are so many mistakes made. And I guess the thing with the young athletes is sometimes you have to wait your turn, right? As far as gaining respect and not wanting everything right now, not expecting everything right now as far as ice time, as far as your contract, or whatever it may be. Sometimes it's good just to wait your turn and earn it. I think that's where I think the athletes have changed. They have entourages around them that I think direct them the wrong way. And the hierarchy of a room, the hierarchy of what it is to be a pro, the process you have to go through as a pro, I think's lost a little bit with the athlete now. And it's something I miss terribly in being in the league for so long, seeing where it's gone to now. Great athletes, great skill, great speed, but the mental and the understanding what it is to be a pro and respecting the National Hockey League, that's where I have some struggles.
Now there was a lead up there that he kind of hums and haws and then jumps to it's a dumb league. But
That's the oldest thing that's ever been said.
Yeah, I mean,
no one has ever said anything older. Oh, the young kids these days, they enter the league and they have no respect for anybody.
Shut up. There's an old lady in Japan who was 120 years old who was quoted as saying, "I'm 120 years old," and it was less old than that thing we just heard.
That's the dude at the office who's like, oh, there's a new guy in here, just out of university, thinks he's all cool. These rookies, you can't come into the league with these entourages and they're bling. Dude, like, what the fuck are you talking about, you old man?
Adam and Jesse are so good that sometimes when I see there's a big quote that everyone's retweeting, I go, ooh, I'm going to intentionally avoid that until tomorrow's show.
I'm glad you did.
And I avoided it. And here's the irresponsible thing that all the outlets did is they put John Tortorella's face and in big letters, "It's a dumb league." Send tweet. And that was it. If I didn't know any better, which I didn't, I would have assumed the decision to suspend Rielly
was the crux, right?
Well, it was either the decision to suspend him not long enough or too long. That's what he was talking about. He's talking about like the people the players hang out with. Who is he?
He's talking about rookies coming in and having attitudes.
I think
that's what he went off on.
Is the illusion that Ridley Grigg has an entourage around him?
Yeah, because he's
told him that would be awesome.
Second year in the league, and he's doing all these slap shots. Back in my day, you weren't even allowed to take a slap shot unless you were 52.
No, he's really got his finger on the pulse. You know what hockey of all sports needs to do? Go back to the way it used to be. Dude,
John, we were making fun of Ridley Grigg, tongue in cheek, saying he's the cop. John Tortorella is the cop. I think he is Stewie Griffin establishment. You always know what's best. Like he's just. And what's funny about it to me is it's like John Tortorella used to fight this. Like I think there was a story, and forgive me if I'm sort of misquoting this, but this was maybe 10 years ago, and he didn't like the music that was being played in one of the teams he was coaching's dressing room. It was either Vancouver or Columbus. And it was like he had like tried to get them to stop listening to hip hop and go more like classic rock or something like that before the game.
I don't remember.
And you're just like it's he can't help it. This is who he is. But it is quite funny to see a quote like that. Like I can't say, like acting like Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and those guys didn't have entourages. Acting like Mario Lemieux didn't have an entourage. Come on now. Now, Ridley Grigg is not any of those players, but he's a young, cool, heel guy, and he's probably the toast of Ottawa right now. Of course, he's got some people that want to be next to him. And what does Ridley Grigg gain from this other than national spotlight and name brand recognition? He's going to get endorsement deals because of this. He is.
Okay. Maybe this transitions to another topic.
Okay.
Because like Toronto media circus, blah, like they obviously treat it that way. Like,
well, and it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody who tells me that it's not at this point, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
Sure,
sure, okay.
This story is obviously a big story while John Tortorella is coming to town, and that is something that the Flyers couldn't help, right? Why'd they name Sean Couturier the captain?
I was going to get to that next.
Right before they were just in Philly. Their last game was in Philadelphia. Then between last game, which was in Philadelphia, and their next game, which was not, they named their captain. Why? Why did they do that? Why is that?
Because it's Toronto.
Is that why?
Has to be.
Because it's No, Philly's one of the biggest markets in the sport.
Here's the thing. They were winners of 4 straight headed into last night's game. So they're feeling good. but like I don't understand why you couldn't. You would want to have like a press conference and put
In Philadelphia.
put the jersey on and everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll do that, but yeah, I don't know.
Guaranteed every Flyers reporter, whether they tell you or not, is privately irked by that.
I would be pissed too. Also, John Tortorella said that in the season opener that they weren't going to name a captain this season. So that the fact that they did, I'm hoping some Philly journalists do a little digging as to why this happened, because this is strange. Not that it's bad, it's just weird.
Do you want a quote by John Tortorella talking about the locker room's crappy music?
Please give me the clap. Yes.
What year is this from?
So it's 2017.
Oh, okay. Was
The Penguin. This is from Greg Wyshynski when he used to write for Yahoo. The Columbus Blue Jackets are facing elimination on Tuesday night at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are up 3-0 in their first round series. And this is what John Tortorella said about that situation.
You know what we're thinking? And I just told them, I just want to be able for them to put that goddamn radio on after tonight's game at 10 o'clock. That's all we're concerned about, is to feel good about ourselves tonight after this game. Then we'll worry about what the odds are after that. And we're not even looking at a 3-0. This team has played really well this year and has grown tremendously. I do not want them leaving tonight not enjoying a playoff win. And then we'll talk about what we have to do. And so they play this crap for music when you come in after the game. I want them to be able to put that on and just jam with it, and so they can feel good about themselves. Then we'll decide how we approach the rest of the series from there.
Okay.
There you go. He wants them to be able to play their crap music after they win.
So he's
is
not
what he
saying
said.
not to play it.
No,
he's
he
saying
said-
I want you to play it.
They play this crap music, and I want to hear that crap when we come back to the dressing room. We win our game.
I want you to earn your crap
Yeah.
music. This
Like, come on.
He did. I swear to you, there's a story about him trying to get them to switch the music, though. I swear to you, it's
Yeah,
out
I
there.
assume there's another quote somewhere
Yes.
in there too, but this one was about the crap.
That is
music.
funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
This story happened 10 years ago, so some of you are going to be hearing this again. Some of you are going to be hearing it for the first time. When I was in Philadelphia for the draft in 2014, there was a parking attendant, and someone was driving where they shouldn't have. What would you expect someone working at their job to say to you? Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. You can't park there or whatever. This dude storms up to the car and goes, "What are you, nuts?" And that, to me, at the time, was the most Philadelphia thing I had ever seen. Then they hired John Tortorella, and I realized, wait a minute, that guy looked identical to John Tortorella. I need to know, is there a guy who works, like, for, where do the Flyers play? What's the name of the building?
Wells Fargo. Or
Wells Fargo.
Center.
I need to know if there's a guy at Wells Fargo,
In the Wells Fargo wagon.
in the Wells Fargo wagon, asking people if they're nuts, who looks exactly like John Tortorella. He is made to coach the Flyers.
He
Are
is.
Philadelphians old? Like they don't have like old man mentality.
No, they have what are you nuts mentality.
Yeah.
Which is like, they're just abrasive, man. Like,
Okay, not all Philadelphia, but Philly fans.
oh, I know.
And there are Flyers fans who, whenever we talk about this stuff, they're like, "No, we're not." And I'm like, "You are literally you are being abrasive with me right now."
I got crap the other day because I was talking about Flyers fans throwing their Ed Snyder Memorial wristbands at the ice. And then someone was like, oh, spreading more misinformation about Flyers fans.
That was over-reported.
Yeah, no, those weren't for Ed Snyder. They were for something else. And I'm like, whoa.
That's incredible.
I think if you heard that, it was, I think
Wow.
the point going a wee bit over your head.
Yes, absolutely.
God bless Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Get ready for Puck Drop with BetMGM, the official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. From game-winning goals to spectacular saves, BetMGM gives you the chance to take those highlight reel NHL plays to a whole new level. BetMGM has something for every hockey fan. Jesse, you're a hockey fan.
I am.
What does BetMGM have for you?
Everything.
That's great, man.
That's cool.
It's everything under the sun.
Man, thank you for getting so specific.
Wait, what's your
Name something.
free money glitch? What the
Betting the Leafs when they're down?
Yeah.
Yeah, like plus 2.5 goals. It's not like crazy odds or anything, but it's usually always pays out because they get back at least close.
Take your shot to light the lamp this season with BetMGM. Download the app today and find out why BetMGM is not only the official sports betting partner of the NHL in Canada, they're also the king of sportsbooks. Go to betmgm.com/dangle.
BetMGM.
You already screwed up.
I know.
You don't get around to
BetMGM.com/dangle. Here, I'll read the rest.
Yeah, no.
BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario, but it doesn't matter because I screwed up the read anyway.
Doesn't matter.
I thought you ended strong, and then you cut yourself down. It's scrap it.
This is all bad.
Scrap the whole thing.
Good for the Flyers for their dressing room apparently has really come together where it was pretty fractured before.
Seems like it.
Good for Sean Couturier, second year of an 8-year deal, going to be the captain or is the captain, was wearing the C last night in Toronto. Let's talk about the game. The Leafs have back-to-back wins and back-to-back hat tricks. I'm going to run through some of the Auston Matthews stats with you guys, okay? We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about Philly's comeback. We'll talk about all that stuff. But let me just run through all the journalists' tweets last night who were like, I'm going to get a Auston Matthews tweet out there right now. Okay, starting with Jonas Siegel.
He's so silly.
Auston Matthews is only 76 goals from catching Matt Sundin for the Maple Leafs franchise goals record. He's played 449 games fewer than Sundin to this point. Now, if he hadn't missed... some of the COVID season, some of the shortened stuff. There's a chance that he's at Sundin's level,
In and around,
which is kind of nuts.
Within arm's reach, like he
maybe reachable this year, maybe.
Yeah, like he's more than a full season away from Sundin.
Yeah,
but
from our buddy Arun, no active player has recorded 5 or more hat tricks in a single season aside from Auston Matthews. Who was the last player to do it?
Oh, I tried to steal a glance at Adam's laptop. What was the question?
No active player has recorded 5 or more hat tricks in a single season aside from Auston Matthews. The last player to do it was...
Wasn't it...
Jesse, can you guess too?
Babe Die.
Babe Die. Was not Babe Die.
Wasn't it Reg Noble?
No. 5? No.
What's it? No, it's all names
0506.
that sound made
0506.
Up. Oh, it's 0506.
You're telling me Babe Die didn't do that?
I'm sure Babe Die did it.
Okay.
What did Babe Die do?
Everything.
He did. So did Reg Noble, apparently, because they keep coming up in the record books. But I want to talk about
Sundin?
Active players. No active players have done it. Was not Sundin. And I'm not talking about Leafs. I'm talking about NHL wide.
Oh, shit.
No active player in the entire NHL has done it.
Chichu.
Jonathan
Chichu.
That's
Are you
it.
talking about Leafs?
Yeah,
No, I
definitely
said
thought we were talking about
I just said no active player.
Oh, okay.
Gotta listen.
Yeah, but I was too busy
I wasn't listening.
trying to...
Yeah. Okay. Well, fine. Auston
Babe
Matthews scored his 5th hat trick of 23-24, tied Sittler, Die, Noble.
Who?
Babe
Die.
Die. Reg Noble
boy.
for the most in a single season in Leafs history, which is pretty spectacular. 45 goals in his first and that's from the NHL PR, by the way, because the NHL loves the Leafs. Remember, 45 goals in a team's first 52 games has only happened 21 times in NHL history before Matthews did
Name
it tonight.
all 21.
Name the last time it happened. And who was the player?
What is it? How many and how many?
45 goals in 52 games has only happened 21 times in NHL history. Before Auston Matthews did it tonight.
Yager or Lemieux?
See, Ovi?
You are right, Jesse.
Which one?
Pick one.
Yager.
Lemieux.
Okay, so it's Lemieux.
Damn it.
What year?
95, 96.
Yep, that one.
You're both right.
Hey!
1996. That's pretty crazy, huh? And then, so, by the way, most hat tricks in a season, just to expand on that stat, Rick Vive had 4, Babe Die had 4. So Rick Vive did it in 83-84. Babe Die in 22-23.
There's a guy.
Matthews did it in 21-22 for them. Then Sittler, Die, Noble.
Noble!
Have done 5.
Do you think if I went down to Real Sports, I could get a Babe Die jersey?
Man, I don't even think Babe Die played for the Leafs. I think he played for the St. Pats.
We're looking it up.
I can get a St. Pat's jersey.
Yeah, I think
have
you would.
them.
Him and Reg Noble. I think that's or their arenas, maybe Toronto arenas.
I could check for you tonight.
Oh yeah, Maddie's
Oh,
going
let's
down
go.
to, the Battle of Bay Street. You could check. Yeah,
Maddie could not be
They
more
have-
excited. By
I
the
know.
way,
That's
She
all
could not-
she's talking
She's like,
about.
hey, did I tell you I was going to the game? Did I tell you?
Oh, you're one of those.
legit
Take
like the
me
50th
out
time.
to the me game.
Listen,
You know what? Oh, sorry.
What is it, Maddie?
listen, it's the first sold out Scotiabank women's hockey game.
Yeah.
So
First of many.
You're gonna be there for history because they're gonna set the all-time attendance record again, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
cool to be a part of that. It's
so
very
yeah, I'm going
special.
to the me game.
Yeah.
Me
Also,
game.
Watch Spooner get some tucks.
We were sent a bunch of Toronto PWHL gear, and we don't know who it's from, and we're not sure if it's real.
yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
I like free stuff.
Spooner and Nurse jerseys, or like jerseys,
Jerseys, yeah.
and we just don't know who it's from.
There's nothing.
But there's something There's an Australian connection there.
no, well, it's like from it's from a weird shipping company, so it definitely looks like it was printed on demand. You know, like
Yeah.
through like dropship or not dropshipping, but like print on demand services. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like real or not.
Wait, it's I don't think it's real. Like,
Well, how do you know it's Australian?
Because-
is it because it's spelled Torotaur? I thought it was funny.
Yep. No. You were
Wow.
laughing your way through your own joke.
Yeah. It's like,
Here, wait. Give me my knee.
slap that knee, baby. Let's go.
You were doing the
Toronto.
records. You were doing the records.
Yeah, what's the record, Steve? What do you got there?
Oh, so I don't know. Can I go get a Babe Dye jersey? We'll find out.
You can get a Babe Dive jersey. I will buy you a Babe Dive jersey.
Thank you. Okay.
If you can
Okay.
tell me Babe's real name.
Isn't it Reginald?
I'll kick your ass. And also, no, it's not.
So I just got to guess every name in the English language.
You get one guess. No, you get three guesses.
Harrison,
No.
Bartholomew.
No.
Is it actually Babe?
No. Okay, that I'll clarify that for you. No, it's not Babe.
Homer.
Cecil.
Cecil.
Cecil
Why'd they just call him Cease?
Babe Dye, born May 13th, 1898. And Adam was right, or almost right. He played 6 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The rest were for the New York Americans, Chicago Blackhawks, Hamilton Tigers, and Toronto St. Pats.
Yeah.
Dude.
I think if you're going to get an authentic jersey, Jesse,
Yeah.
first off, it's got to be made of wool.
Be hot as fuck.
Hot, just outrageously hot and itchy. You better be. I want to see some underboob sweat.
I want
going
a
on.
game worn
God
Babe
damn.
Dye jersey.
I get that. What?
I want game worn.
Game worn?
Yeah.
No, back then they used to take the jerseys back. You guys know that, right?
Yes.
So with the old jerseys, this is how cheap the Leafs used to be. I think other teams used to do it too, but I can tell you specifically with the Leafs, when Johnny Bower wore a jersey in the 50s, at the end of the season, he would have to give the jersey back to the team so somebody else could potentially use it the next year. And they would take all the jersey numbers off the jerseys and reuse them. This is how tight things work.
I was trying to find Babe Dye highlights and I couldn't.
It's crazy. They don't have a Babe Dye supercut there. That's crazy
They have a lot
that
of still photos, but
no HD cameras at the rink, huh? What a shock.
you know, Steve spent his summers watching Auston Matthews' all his goals from the previous season. Can't do that with Babe Dye.
Let me tell you about Reg Noble, okay? No
me
forward
about it.
pass. This guy was an animal.
No, it's got to be friggin' on TikTok set to like Meek Mill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like every other.
Yo, the fact that they even got Hockey DB has a picture of Babe Dye.
Babe Dye.
They actually got a picture of the guy. Like that.
5
that would have
foot
been pretty rare.
He was 5'8", 150 pounds. He was the biggest man in the league. He was 5'8",
Oh my God.
150 pounds.
All right, how about this one?
Oh, what an animal! What a
How
beast!
about this one? Was Babe Dye overrated because he never had a 40-goal season?
That's bum. Well, yo, he
had-
have you era adjusted him or not?
He had 38 goals in 29 games.
Boo, bum, get out of here. Gretzky 50 and 39. Screw you. Babe Dye had 30. What is it?
38 and 29.
No,
That's crazy.
Screw you, Gretzky. You got nothing on Babe Dye and no assists.
Okay, here's
0 assists. He had 6 assists.
better question. Was he underrated because he won a championship in the AHA with the Chicago Shamrocks?
So he played 6 games for the Leafs. Did you mention that?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah.
How dare you?
Okay, there you go.
202 goals and 41 assists. What a career.
They don't.
202 and 268. Like, unreal.
That's
they
not
don't-
bad.
They don't have the majority of his playoff stats.
yeah.
Because it was pre-depression.
Yeah.
They might not have had the playoffs. Like when did I actually don't know this about the NHL's history. When did the playoffs start?
I have no idea. All Adam, I know you'll like this. His rookie season overlaps the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. It started in the fall of 1919.
Wow.
Isn't that when it was signed?
Yes. Yeah, in Paris. Yeah, it took like 6-7 months to get that thing done.
And if you looked, that's where he's from.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. He's from Hamilton. I don't think there were many
Man,
NHL
that's
players
so
from Paris
wild.
at the time. Dude,
Oh my
it was a
god.
very long time ago. That's why when people go, stuff from back then doesn't count. It's disrespectful,
Extremely
but maybe
No.
maybe a little.
We have to accept the evolution of the game, like baseball has, like
Sure.
soccer has.
I'm willing to listen to people who are like, none of the original 6 championships should be counted the same as winning it in a 32 team league, or even like when you just the expansion, past 6, because 6 is so little.
Yeah. I saw an interesting one.
Well, they did get up to like didn't they get up to 10 or 12
Yeah.
before the depression?
I think when it's 6, you need to context those cups. You can't rank them the same as when there's 10 teams or just more teams.
I saw an interesting one that was like, okay, what's worse? The Leafs not having one since 67, the Canucks never having one, or the Rangers winning one, but they had something like 2 cups in the final 40 years of the original series.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
It's
Yeah, most of their
there's
cups are in the
6
20s.
teams.
Like, dude, you suck. How didn't you luck into more than that?
Yeah, I knew
Just fluke.
So I knew somebody, and he has since passed on, but he played in the NHL for the Rangers.
Okay.
And he's a family friend, and I'm not going to say who, but he's like I was just big, and they put me in. Like this is back when you would pull your skate out of the bag and the boot would fall over the side. Like
Yeah.
you were leather skates, right?
How did everyone just break their legs?
Well, because they didn't shoot as hard, and they didn't hit as hard, and they didn't skate as fast, and all
No,
the
but,
other
like,
things. Yeah.
The
you-
shitty slushy ice.
well, they didn't have shitty slushy ice. It was like minus 40 back then. This is pre-climate change.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And they're
So-
not going 35 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
No, that is true.
Yeah, like if you watch a game from the 50s, you're like, wow, this is a way different game. But anyway, he said like the Rangers were like night in, night out. Terrible. Like they were just, it's so funny to think of them because now they're one of the vaunted, the original 6, and they won a cup in 94, and they've had some really close calls and almost won it a couple times since then. And Gretzky and Messier played there, and Brian Leach and Mike Richter and all these great players. But for the longest time, and even through the 70s, they were a joke. Like Phil Esposito, when he found out he was going to New York from Boston, he was really upset about it. And it's sort of funny to see how that has all changed since they kind of got their crap together in the last 25, 30 years, right? But for 50 or 60 years before that, it was like, the Rangers. And the Blackhawks were a little like that too.
There were 4 teams.
There were 4
There was an
teams.
original 6 with 4 teams.
Who are the teams? Yeah, there's 6 of us, but who's of the 4 of us who's going to win?
Boston, Montreal, Toronto. Detroit.
Boston won no cups during the original 6 era.
Whoa!
Okay, tell you what.
Is it Boston or what did I
3
just
teams
read?
then.
What did I just read?
Boston won no cups?
Where did I just have it? The cups from the original.
No way. That's a crazy stat too.
Sorry, I lost it. Oh, here we go. Boston and New York won. So Montreal won 10 of the 25 Stanley Cups awarded during the original 6 era. Toronto won 9. Detroit won 5. Chicago won 1. And Boston and New York won no cups.
Wow.
You stink.
That's insane.
You stink. I'm like, how don't you luck into
You
it?
didn't luck into one. It's like the Rough Riders in the CFL, man.
Which one?
They've won the Saskatchewan one, the one that matters.
Got it.
Sorry, Ottawa, but
There's
you know.
this line as well. It says, it was not a coincidence that 2 of the dominant teams were based in Canada, and the third was based in an American city that borders Canada. The league had a rule that gave each team exclusive rights to negotiate contracts with promising local players within 50 miles of its home ice.
That's so shit.
Yeah.
So apparently the NHL's always been stupid.
Yeah. Like they had no draft, right?
Yeah.
And then if you were on the sponsorship squad, by the way, you were there forever. You had no rights to leave.
Damn.
You had no rights to sign anywhere else. You get Alan Walsh talking about this. Like if you were on that squad, like if you had signed that contract, even if you hadn't, you couldn't play anywhere else.
I'm trying to look it up, but the NHL's mobile site is just.
What are you trying to
look up?
There was something I looked up. It was like the year of Gordie Howe's first MVP or something like that. There were 10 men out of 200 or something like that, above the height of 6 feet tall. 4 of them were in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, size mattered for sure.
There are more 6-foot men on last year's Golden Knights Cup team.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
There's a higher percentage of 6-foot men in this room.
Percentage, yes.
Percentage.
The Toronto Maple Leafs registered a season-high
Thanks for that,
50
by the
hits
way.
last night against the Flyers. Benoit with 7, Gregor with 7, Nyes with 6, McCabe and McMahon with 5, Giordano 4, and the rest went to assorted. Now, the other thing I want to bring up here, and this is back to Auston Matthews for a second here.
Kind of chippy.
Auston Matthews has the most goals in the NHL since 16-17.
Mm-hmm.
He has 344. Alexander Ovechkin and Leon Draisaitl are next.
Okay.
How many goals do they have since 16-17?
302.
311.
311.
Holy shit, really?
311.
Dude, I pulled that out of my ass. No way.
Pasternak has 309, McDavid 308. So that's a 33 goal differential between Auston Matthews and the next closest person.
Mm-hmm.
He's not ahead. He's exploding past people.
Yeah, he's on a better goal scoring pace than Ovechkin is, and Ovechkin's going to set the all-time record. But
He's on.
the
Wait,
thing is keeping it through
Yeah.
your age.
Yeah.
You know, doing it, having the longevity to do it.
Do you have the health? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing, and Nick Alberga tweeted this. In his last 30 games, Matthews has 31 goals, excuse me. In his last 24, McMahon has 5.
Cool.
In his last 31, Domi has 5. In his last 27, Kampf has 3. Nyes has 3 in 29. Holmberg 2 in 19. Gregor with 2 in 30. And Bertuzzi with 1 goal in the last 30 games.
Attaboy, Nick. Everyone was positive. Nick.
He's right.
Attaboy, Nick.
He's right.
I know he's right. Oh, let me tell you. I was about to be very unkind to William Nylander last night.
Why is that?
I don't have the stat in front of me, but he has twice as many, I think it's at least twice as many games without a point since signing his contract than before he signed his contract. And he's played 2 or 3 times as many games. He hasn't, even if you don't call his play bad, I don't know if he's been bad enough that you could call it bad, but he was a fucking animal.
He was a force.
He was one of the best. I had no reservation about calling him one of the best players in the league because that's how he played. He showed up to Sweden, took over that shit, walked it off, went home, continued to get better. And he's had some nights off. And then last night he goes, tell you what, Steven, why don't you tuck that in your back pocket for a little bit? And he scored the OT winner.
And he wouldn't have had to if the Leafs had not messed it up in the third. Now, let's start this game off by saying that Flyers go up 1-0. Leafs don't have the best first period. Okay, fine. Second period.
No, the Flyers 1-0 goal is something to.
You want to talk about
What
it?
the hell are you doing, Toronto?
I mean,
I-
let's all blow our assignment all at once.
Yeah, no, Steve, your breakdown of the LFR was great. We're just like, look at these gentlemen. Why is everybody going in the wrong place?
Dude, play the top unit for the full 2 minutes or the fourth line. Whatever you do, please send a message to all those people.
Yeah.
You stink and cannot be on our power play.
After everybody made the wrong decision,
Everybody.
and the puck's in the corner, and the Flyers are fishing it out to send it in the front, and then Mark Giordano decides, hey, I know everybody's in the wrong place. I'm going to also get to the wrong place.
Dude,
and
I'm
just
like, why are
go
there
to the
3
wall.
of you? And why are there 3 of you? Why are there 4 of you?
Why do you need to be the 4th man in the wrong position? I didn't understand his decision making there.
It's a panic move by a rookie from the oldest player in the league.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he's filling in for, nope, Robertson's right there. What the fuck? What was happening there?
And just a simple mistake like that, hey, just stay in your assignment, maybe it doesn't lead to a goal.
Yeah, it's
The Leafs are full of these little mistakes, and it's very annoying.
it's very annoying. But they also have the best player since Babe died.
Yeah.
To then give them a 3-1 lead.
And all in one period as well. And what bothered me about the hat trick was not the hat trick or the way he got it. That was fucking incredible. It was the third period where everybody's like, okay, let's just get the puck to Auston and not take obvious shots. I'm looking at William Nylander. I'm looking at Mitch Marner on a couple. Mitch Marner is known for that anyway, not shooting when he has a good shot and overpasses. Dude, what the hell was that? The first 10 minutes, the Leafs were rolling and they kept giving. Like, they'd get into the zone, they'd give their own scoring chances away because it's like, oh, we got to find Auston. Just fucking shoot the puck.
To Mitch's credit, he made a great pass on Austin's first goal and the third goal. On the power play.
Yeah,
Like,
but
he had a good second.
There was,
I agree, but to tell me that they were not that they were focused in
there was a little bit of cheating.
Yeah, but I blame that third period collapse, which is like, it's unforgivable because it's 2 easy mistakes you don't make, and they lead directly to power plays.
offensive zone
That
penalties.
they couldn't stop.
Gregor, like, oh yeah, he should have taken us both. There's no argument.
No,
There's no
you
argument.
can't punch a guy in the face.
No, like they were.
Gregor.
I thought it was very funny that after last episode they were jousting back and forth, which is exactly what they were doing. And the ref is looking and going, "Hey, you two, knock it off," and maybe considering taking them both. And then Gregor escalated it by punching him in the face. Yeah, dude, that's a rough every time.
And you're not a player on the team that should be taking penalties.
Exactly.
No.
Noah Gregor plays too far low in the lineup to be making mistakes like that. You should be benched.
Dude, how many times do I got to say it? The next player scratched should not be Bobby McMahon.
No, Bobby McMahon has a place on this roster.
He had a couple
forever.
good chances last night.
Friggin'
too.
better. He
Bobby
played
McMahon looks
great.
great.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then Bertuzzi, watch your
God.
stick. Keep your stick in a good place. Why are you tripping guys behind your own net? What the hell is that?
I don't know what you do there beyond a seance. Like
You know what, man?
I don't know what you do.
I don't think that you need to sit Bertuzzi, but I think you may. Anybody who's saying play him lower in the lineup and maybe try to play him against lower competition and try to get that going, like, you got to do something. You cannot leave him stapled to Tavares and Nylander, and there are guys who deserve a chance up there. I think
I didn't mind Holmberg.
Yeah, he didn't play there last night, right?
Well,
he didn't.
They
Some of
sort
it.
of split it. There was a very interesting moment though where Keefe and Nylander were having a heated discussion. And I did my best to lip read. I couldn't lip read Sheldon at all, but Nylander goes twice. And I'm like, what's he talking about? I was trying to figure that out.
Did you figure it out?
No. Was he upset with a teammate? Was he upset with, was someone hooking him and there wasn't a penalty called? He's frustrated. Like the one thing I'll say about his not necessarily slump, but he's definitely playing below what he was in the fall, is the fire's been there. There's an anger and a passion in William Nylander that I don't think we've ever seen at this level in his career. So that's encouraging at very least. But I mean, when are we going to find line mates for these elite players? Like even Matthew Nyes, on one hand, he's been Matthews' left winger for the majority of the season, in a season where Matthews has 45 goals. He must be doing some of the right things. He's got 9 goals.
Did you see the Sheldon Keefe clip where he's like, Nyesy, go through that guy?
Yeah. And that's a rookie.
Yeah.
And part of me, sometimes I watch him play and I'm like, he is a rookie. It's unreasonable to expect him to be great at this role. And then you have Bertuzzi, who's somehow doing worse. I don't know what the underlying number comparable is between the two. All I know is Nyes has 3 more goals than Bertuzzi does.
And if you look at the Bertuzzi numbers, and this is what people will tweet at us, the advanced numbers are good. At a certain point, and I think even people who are dyed-in-the-wool advanced stats people will tell you the actual result.
I enjoy
The
watching
deserve
him play.
to score a meter has to yield a goal at some point. And this is where I wonder, like, put Bertuzzi with Domi.
He
in
was
yard
with
growth.
Domi last night.
Yeah,
he played the
and I like
majority
that.
of his minutes with Domi and Robertson last night.
And I like that. Robertson had some good chances.
Yeah.
I love Nick Robertson's game. I still think it's coming along. I hope they don't trade him. But I do feel like there's got to be something.
You need to be able to finish eventually. Like, you can't.
Yes.
I get that he's getting scoring chances, and the highlight packs of Domi almost scoring are amazing, or Bertuzzi almost scoring are amazing.
No, you were right.
Eventually,
You were right.
You need to put the puck in the back of the net, and
Yes.
it's just you need to finish.
And it's great if you're on a long-term deal. It's like, well, eventually it'll come back. This guy's going to be gone.
He's got 3 months.
He didn't want to be. I don't think his first choice was the Leafs, and that's okay. He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to love the idea of coming to Toronto. There's media scrutiny. There's all this stuff. There's people like us talking about him. But like at the end of the day, you did sign for $5.5 million. We expect 25 goals here, and you have 6.
And the possibility of moving him and getting some assets and like flipping him for something kind of equivalent isn't really possible because of the contract and the no trade, right?
Imagine it's October 12th. It's opening night. And I tell Steve and Jesse on this show, I come on this show with one of my hottest takes ever. And I go, guess who will be worth a first-round pick at the deadline? Adam Henrique or Tyler Bertuzzi, who make about the same money. It's within $250,000 of each other. And you guys would say, well, obviously Bertuzzi, you nerd. And if I say Henrique, you guys laugh me out of the room. And guess where we're at? Henrique's were the first. Leafs probably couldn't shed Domi or Bertuzzi's contract, even if they wanted to make room to make another deal.
There's not really a team in the league that would take on Bertuzzi. So you're sitting here.
He's been good. I like his game.
So I'm looking at it right now. Noah Gregor has a shooting percentage of 5.6, which is bad. Bertuzzi has a shooting percentage of 6.2, which is bad.
Yeah, that's going to change.
Domi has 6.7. Pontus Holmberg even has 6.9, which is nice, but bad. Then it's like defenseman. Dude, Tavares even 8. David Kampf has a higher shooting percentage than John Tavares at 8.2. Bobby McMahon is the first double-digit guy, the lowest double-digit guy at 11.6. You know what I think part of this team's problem is? Shoot! A lot of these guys pass up opportunities. And I think like there have been a few shifts over the last month where it's like a pass contest because everyone's confidence is shot because no one's scoring. And everyone wants to help get the other guy out of the slump. Domi passes to Bertuzzi, passes to this guy,
Someone
passes
be
to that
selfish.
guy, dude, shoot the puck. But what did Bobby McMahon do? When he got his hat trick, he drove to the net for the first goal after being allowed to go there by the St. Louis Blues, who sucked that night. And he yeeted the puck off of like 1 foot at the net. The second goal, like the balls to even take that shot after missing the net by a mile, by the way. The play continued in the zone. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to take another shot after missing the net by a mile. An even worse angle shot, and it friggin' goes in. And then obviously the empty netter. Dude, shoot the puck.
Yep.
I wish these guys would be a little more selfish.
Well, I don't know what you do to, because here's the thing: if the depth scoring is here, we're not worried about half the things we're talking about.
Nope.
If there is any depth scoring at all, not from all of them, let's say from half of them. Let's say. Because, listen, I've liked Max Domi's game. I think he and Simon Benoit are the best signings of the Treliving era so far, based on their contract values and stuff. I don't know why you don't like his game. I've never understood that. I think he adds speed. I think he adds playmaking.
Yes.
I think they've paired him with the wrong people the entire year.
I agree with that. He gets hemmed in a lot.
He's a $3 million center.
Well, that's
So
part of it, right?
that's a $3 million center.
It's a completely different approach from like, okay, they went out and they got Ryan O'Reilly last year.
Yes.
Right. And I know they didn't have him for the full season, blah, blah, blah. But they don't play remotely the same. Those two. You know what I mean? So I know there's a new GM in there, but they went from that to this. And it's just such a sharp contrast. And again, we don't talk about it nearly as much if they're scoring. Like, Domi's a playmaker. We know that. And he's put up a surprising amount of points considering he's played the majority of the season in the bottom 6 and no one in the bottom 6 is scoring. You got to put him with finishers.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe you put Bertuzzi with him and just see what breaks first.
Well,
Domi's playmaking ability or
Bertuzzi, Domi, Robertson. Somebody's going to score at some point, right?
I don't hate
Robertson
that
with
line.
that shot, Bertuzzi with his Zamboni-ness. He just kind of slides all over the place.
Nothing against Robertson, but I would really like to see Bertuzzi, Domi, Yarncroke when Yarncroke's back.
They do miss him.
I think definitely Yarncroke has that spot on the lineup.
Yeah. And then, well, if this keeps up and Nyes doesn't score and Bertuzzi doesn't score, don't be surprised if Yarncroke ends up in the top 6 on the left,
Yeah, that too.
which they've done, and it wasn't bad.
I'm willing to give Nyes leeway, like we mentioned it a little bit. You know, he's rookie. He's still getting. We forget that.
I know.
Very often.
I want to, dude, they need to start going in. They need to start going in.
And so, like last night, I don't think it was a good game from the Leafs. I think it was a good one period by one guy. And he saved the entire game, and then it was a great goal by Willie. But overall, there's so many disappointing moments that happened last night. I'm just like, good teams find ways to win when they're not playing well, which is very encouraging to see that they ended up getting the 2 points.
They are doing that more often this year. They're not just falling apart.
Yes, that's why it's been so encouraging, especially the early half of the season when they had all these crazy comeback wins. Is they had bad games, but they'd still win, which is excellent. But you don't want these habits to persist throughout the rest of the season because come playoff time, you don't get these opportunities.
2 unsung heroes that I want to do before we wrap. Ilya Samsonov was having a friggin' fantastic game. I thought the team let him down at the end. Still picks up the win. And someone who I've given it to a lot on this show, Timothy Liljegren.
Yeah, he had a great night last night.
Good night.
That's good, Timothy.
Goodithy.
Goodithy. Absolutely. That's a Lilia win.
Timothy Liljegren, great.
What does it say about the Leafs that they played better when John Tavares and Mitch Marner and Morgan Rielly weren't in the lineup?
Well, I think it shows. Here's what I want to say about that.
The Blues were that bad.
I think it shows, first off, that this team doesn't give 100% every night. I think number
That's
two,
totally true.
It shows that teams are exploiting the Leafs' weakness, which is they're not fast. You guys saw what the Nathan McKinnon. Now I know it's Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, but like we're trying to play in that range, right?
Yes.
Like the whole thing about having the 4 superstars plus Morgan Rielly, who I would include as a top 5. The whole point of that is to be able to compete in that arena. And the Avalanche, who are essentially a one-line team, swept in and said, "We're going to one-line you to death," and they did it. And they did it by skating.
McKinnon's baseline is demon mode.
That's right.
And then playoffs is Satan. Beelzebub. He is Lucifer Morningstar. He is terrifying.
When Tavares is not playing up to his standards. Like the other day when he was, last week, remember he did that spinorama or that half spin in the offensive zone and set up a goal. That was
where he avoided the defenseman like he avoids paying taxes.
That's right.
Whoa!
Vintage
on the show.
Yeah, that's vintage Tavares. That's when he's at his best. But he's at the point in his career where if he is not at his best, the game does slow down in the playoffs, I'll give you that. But if he's not at his best, it's far more noticeable because of the skating. And I think teams can exploit that line. Yes, Willie's fast. Yeah, you can put someone fast on his wing. But the reality is the center, and we call it the center because it's the center of the line. And so at least have to figure out something with that. And I think the other thing is, and I got into it a little bit with somebody on Twitter last night, and not in a bad way.
Were you tweeting through it?
No, I was just like, I tweeted something to the effect of, imagine Auston Matthews on a team that could play defense.
Okay.
Which is valid.
I think
there
it's
a
valid.
back and forth?
Well, he was upset about it because he's like, why can't it just be a good thing without detractions? And I understand what he was saying.
That's fair.
But what I said back was, listen, this team has been wildly inconsistent. What do I mean by that when I say that? We have expectations for this team based on their talent level. I know Morgan Rielly's not in the lineup. I get it. This team is still better on defense than what they've shown you. What they showed you last night, their boneheaded plays per 60 is too high. It's too high.
Oh, yeah.
And
too damn high.
They're giveaways in the neutral zone that lead to offensive opportunities for the other team is too high. Are these players capable? Yes, they're capable. And this is what I want to impart to Leaf fans. I don't get upset when they lose a game that shit, they just got outplayed. I get upset when they play below what their talent level is. When you know when a team, even if you're not a fan of the Leafs, you know when your team is sort of just, I mean, St. Louis Blues fans, after Monday's game or Tuesday's game, whenever the hell it happened, they were like, a few of them reached out to me. They're like, yeah, that was not the Blues I've been watching.
It's one of the worst games I've ever, in the 17 years of doing LFR, seen a team play against the Leafs.
They were terrible.
I'm not kidding.
They were terrible. They were
fucking off.
No effort. Zero.
They
Zilch.
did not try. They didn't show up.
So-
They shouldn't have shown up to the game.
So this idea that the world lives in an NHL, EA Sports NHL 24 vacuum, that the players give 100,000% every night and they play to their 89 out of 100 level is bullshit. They're human beings. None of us work like that.
No.
So I think with what happens with the Leafs, though, is it happens more than it ought to, and that's where I get frustrated. And I know that these guys, don't tell me you can get to the NHL and not make basic plays. And these guys sometimes are not making basic plays. It comes down to focus.
Yeah.
How does it feel knowing that you are a guy who spends your night arguing with people on Twitter?
It was 2 tweets, Jesse.
That's all I'm focused
And, and by the way, this guy's a nice person, and he's tweeted us for years. So I like this person very much that I was tweeting with. It wasn't like a me like we used to do in our early 20s.
Oh, yeah.
We used to just get into rip roaring fights on Twitter for no reason. Like, what are we doing? This person's a good person. It's just a difference of opinion.
Oh, you've matured. Now
Well, no.
no,
No, I don't think I've matured. Anybody who's listening to this show, the maturity level's the same. The stupid brain farts per 60 for me have gone down, which is don't fight with people on Twitter. What are you doing? Now, Jesse, I sent you a video.
Sure.
And I want I want you to play this because there was a real highlight of the night last night that I think that you will love. I think everybody loves. And Steve, stop looking at the computer. Stop looking at the computer. Just let it come up on the screen. Just let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen to you. Let it wash over you. Steve's always trying to be like, I'm going to put my glasses on and look over Jesse's shoulder at the computer.
I was going to look at the screen.
Yeah,
because
look
I thought
at the
it was
screen.
going on.
No, it is going on the screen.
I'm being a good boy.
There was somebody in the building last night that, for those of us of a certain era, is near and dear to our hearts.
Yes.
And this person was a Toronto Maple Leaf and was so excited to see people wearing his jersey. And he was the alumni that was back that gives the jersey to the veteran. Loop's Troops, but it wasn't Loop. Yeah. Weirdly enough, Joffrey Lupul has not appeared at Scotiabank Arena ever since. Wonder what happened. But this guy from the Joffrey Lupul era did. There's music to it. Sorry. But it's
no music.
Grabowski! And he went up and said hi to the guy wearing the Grabowski.
Who has
jersey.
the happiest face? Okay, that fan is so
It's
happy.
Harry Potter.
That hot dog looks delicious.
Also, that jersey is the one I was talking about.
Yes, that is what you were talking about the other day. But show Grabo's face. Show it.
He's filming.
He's filming.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's just so happy. I love his face.
He also has really funny TikToks.
He is a very gifted TikToker.
He's got a backyard rink that's fucking spectacular.
Guy rules.
Because he lives in Jeff Merrick land.
I can never forgive Dave
Where there's
Nonis
land.
Where
for
there's
that.
land.
I can never forgive Dave Nonis for that. It's the dumbest buyout in Leafs history.
It's pretty friggin'
I remember-
at Grabo's wedding, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god, that era. This is why I have a hard time with anybody who is associated with that Leafs team when they move on. It's hard for me as a Leaf fan to be like, yeah, great ad, because I know what it was like when they were here, and it was bad.
There's a reason why when Dave Poulin signed with the Sens, a lot of Leaf fans were like, good.
Yeah, I think Pooley's a little bit different, and I think he's probably I put a lot of that on Nonis. And I think and Tim Lywicki thought Dave Nonis was a genius. Signed him to a 5-year extension.
Man.
And it's a bummer because it's honestly, of all the great moves Tim Lywicki did, it's like the one that stands out. You go, wow, that really hurt us.
Yeah.
No, he did great things with the
TFC
Raptors.
fans are
Great
not-
things for TFC.
Not big fans.
Of Lywicki?
I know.
They're out of their minds. They're out of their minds.
I'm just saying.
They're out of their minds.
Matty,
if it wasn't
go
for
get one of
Lywicki, they would
those.
never win a championship.
Go get one of those hot dogs when you go down there tonight. Those
Yeah.
hot dogs look fantastic.
If I can afford it, I will.
Yeah, they're probably like $22.
That looks like it's at least 20.
I'll spot you $30.
How much, Adam? How much did you say a Coke was at Scotiabank? Remember that while ago,
yeah.
Natalie, you got Natalie a Coke and it was like $8 or something.
Oh, $8 or $10, yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we
It's
told it
crazy.
on the show.
I forgot. I have.
Yeah.
You're asking me to remember something from a year ago. Jesse's like, there's no way he's going to remember that. But it was expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy down there.
Yeah, I'll probably eat before.
Compare and contrast that. You've had a Costco dog, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, and they're $1.
Yeah.
So I would like to know which is better: the Scotiabank Arena hot dog for $40 million, mortgage your house, or the Costco hot dog for $1.
Definitely Costco.
I think, well, just based on the value, you feel better about it.
I've
But
only
does it
had
taste better?
I've only had a Jay's hot dog before. I've never had a hot dog at a Leafs game.
Jay's hot dogs are sadly disappointing.
Yeah.
I went to
They are.
Dollar Hot Dog Day. Best decision of my life.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
paying $1,
Yeah.
if it tastes different.
It's fantastic.
If you're paying full price for those hot dogs, I'm like, I expect more.
Oh man, dude, $5 beers, Looney Dog. Yeah. Great combo.
It's a great evening. I hope they bring it. I think they have it this year.
Do you remember Toonie Tuesday with the Blue Jays?
Oh yeah.
Where you could go-
Tickets were
$2.
Yeah. That was fun.
What?
Yeah, they used to be
This was
two.
way back.
And they stopped doing it, Matty, because first off, it was all in the 500s, and the fans would get super drunk, and then they would, because no one was watching the Jays at that time, and so they would filter down into the lower levels and sneak into seats.
Yeah.
And they would be rowdy, and there would be fights.
Dude, there was a frat that got kicked out for being too drunk. I was a kid, and they were sitting behind us. And the Jays at the time, I've told the story before, had a pitcher named Billy Koch. And so they all, in their drunken stupor,
He's a good closer, by the way.
yeah, early in the game, were like, we should paint "Suck My Koch" on our chests.
I bet that went well.
Well, so they left the game to get paint and came back.
You were allowed in and outs back then.
I don't know. I don't know where they found all the paint.
You used to be able to go in and out of the Jays game if you wanted a cigarette.
So they realized these guys were doing that, and they said, guys, you can't. We're not asking you to leave. We're just asking you to not do that. Then later in the game, they had gone to another section, and they all get on the Jumbotron, and they all go, hey! And then there's a split second where they all go, oh! And they run to, like, get in the proper order, and the camera got off. Dude, it was the best. And that was a Toonie Tuesday.
That's fun.
A Jays
the best.
ticket now for the 500 is going to cost you $25.
That's inflation for you, baby.
That's the Blue Jays versus White
we have
Sox on
strayed from the
a
light
Wednesday.
of God.
It's not crazy, but like $2 between 25.
I'll be honest, you should never have been paying $2 for it. Like
What do you mean?
that was a ploy to get people in the
Yeah, 'cause
building.
the team sucked.
It was a terrible team.
They were bad.
They were really bad.
Lyle Overbay?
Lyle.
Oh,
Overbay.
man.
Josh Towers?
Oh, Josh Towers. Man,
Eric
I remember
Hinsky? I can sit around naming old Jays all day.
Corey Koski for a minute. I liked him with the Twins. He was great.
Chris Woodward.
Who was the guy? Who was the third baseman? Brett Laurie,
Brett Lauer.
who almost fought an ump.
That's
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very recent.
Yeah.
You had three Brett Laurie. Did I ever? Have I ever talked about meeting Brett Laurie?
No.
Larry? I met him outside Grace O'Malley's.
Oh, there's a good spot.
And this dude, so a mutual friend, it was the guy who came up with Team Unit. Remember Team Unit?
Yeah.
And it was Lowry, Colby Armstrong, I think Mike Brown, and I want to say JP Arancibia or something. They had this thing called Team Unit, and it was like big on Twitter, and they sold shirts and everything. And he introduced me to Brett Lowry outside of Grace O'Malley's. And this dude manhandled me. Absolutely manhandled me. Like, he kept bringing me in for like bro hug and everything.
Really?
But this dude tossed me around like a plastic shopping bag. Like, I couldn't believe how fucking strong he was.
Yeah.
And but like, not just because he was strong, he was fucking hyped.
Yes.
And he was really excited to be on the street corner outside of Grace O'Malley's. It's great to meet you. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's actively on the Blue Jays.
He didn't-
And it was amazing.
He didn't like hit home runs. He fought the ball. Like he was like
here,
it's it's like a, you know what I mean? Like it was like a mobster movie. Like he's like when they
Fucking shit.
try to smash their car up, and that's the baseball. He's just anger.
Ranked the thing. And another Grace O'Malley story. One time I was standing on the street corner and there was a random man walking by in full lederhosen. And I'm like, yo, that's hilarious. Yo, that's Corbinian Holzer,
Oh, nice.
who was
Anaheim Ducks great. Corbinian Holzer.
fuck you, Toronto Maple Leafs great. How dare you? Tomorrow's the Corbinian Holzer Bowl. The Leafs and the Ducks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Preds, we don't acknowledge Preds Holzer.
No,
Never
not at all.
The Leafs homestand ever going to end? They're just going to stay at home for
I you know
hope
what? I like it because they're actually winning this time.
No, Jesse, be careful what you wish for. Next week, they have a 1 o'clock game and back-to-back 10 o'clock games.
No, I'm excited.
So thanks a lot.
We get Mullet and Vegas and T-Mobile. Like that's a good look
I'm excited for
back-to-back.
Mullet.
Dude, what?
What?
We get Mullet and T-Mobile?
Yeah, we get Arizona, which is a fun atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, we get a puddle of barf and a Ferrari?
Yo,
Like, what are you talking
Mullet's an
about?
experience, man.
Mullet
It is an
Arena with
experience.
Leafs fans. Like I'm excited to see that on TV and them playing the Coyotes for the first time season.
Hey, question. Does Mullet Arena show up as Mullet Arena in the video game?
Surely. What else would show up?
I haven't checked 24 actually. 23, no. They had it as like a default arena kind of. It was kind of like
They
whatever the
can't
old was.
do that.
But I'm pretty sure it's in 24. I haven't played it that much though.
Okay. All right. Jarmo Kekäläinen was finally mercifully let go yesterday. It's interesting because I think the thing that did him in is everybody. It's not the overall play of the team and that sort of thing or where they're going as a franchise. I think his job was done once Babcock got fired. And it was just a matter of time before the Blue Jackets found out yet again that they've put an extraordinarily flawed team on the ice. Now, what's interesting about the firing, and Steve did a video about this on the SDPN channel, is that the architect of Jarmo's time in Columbus, the guy who kept him there this long, is now the interim GM. Now, we know that the Columbus Blue Jackets ownership are, in a vacuum, it's a perfect situation. Super rich, own the team, don't get involved too much in the hockey ops side. But with John Davidson there, how many playoff games have they played in the last 12, 13, 14 years, however long he's been there?
It's not just like playoff games played. It's series one, and they've won 1.5.
Yeah, the Leafs one is a half.
Yeah, and it's
a play-in.
And I know, like I was getting chirped by Blue Jackets fans, like, "Oh, a Leaf fan criticize." Do not hold yourself to the standard of the Toronto Maple
Yeah,
Leafs.
you hold yourself to like Boston or Vegas or something like that.
Please,
Tampa.
As a Leaf fan, please aim higher.
Yeah.
For the love of God, have some pride. I know they've been bad. I've documented actually quite extensively how bad they've been. The Blue Jackets have been every bit as bad, if not worse.
They had the crazy win against the Leafs that no one was expecting, and then they had the crazy comeback against the Lightning that no one was expecting. But that is it.
I think some people expected the Leaf one, but
Okay, fair enough.
the Lightning one was very unexpected. There was one thing in the video that I was a little unfair about. I talked about them finishing, I think it was third in their division one year, which is true, but they were fourth in the league. But they didn't do shit. They didn't do anything ever.
That was the John Tortorella clip of when they lost in the first round to the Penguins.
Oh, well,
That's 2017 with when they finished fourth in the league. Yeah, they were down 3-0. The Penguins, they win one game, they lose 4-1 the first round.
oh, do we give teams a pass for playing a tough opponent now? Oh, good news, Leaf fans. Like, don't worry. All the losses to Boston and Tampa. The Columbus one is the only one that counts. Oh, and the Habs. Oh, but only those two. So really, they've only lost in the first round twice.
No, I think what it is that
Good news.
Mike Stevens made a really good point on
he didn't.
Twitter last night. He
Shut
said,
up,
"Listen,
Mike.
we can
Shut up.
laugh about the Jarmo Kekäläinen stuff, and I don't think anyone's like laughing.
No.
But he said whoever gets in there, say what you want about the current on ice product, they have a ton of great prospects and a ton of great draft picks and a good future ahead. I do think though the issue is the person who is remaining is the person that kept Jarmo there as long as he did. And I wonder in Columbus, how much change is really going to happen? When if you go back and you listen to the Mike Babcock episode where he got fired, I went through the press conference where they introduced Mike Babcock, and they talked about how they did their due diligence. And how did they do their due diligence in hiring Mike Babcock? They talked to all of Mike Babcock's friends. One of them specifically was Ken Holland. And when they said due diligence, it's like, no, actually you didn't. You ignored your responsibility in business, and hockey is a business, to find the best candidate available. You wanted Mike. You went to a bunch of guys who said Mike's a great guy because you knew that they would. You knew Ken Hitchcock was going to give you the heads up because they'd worked together. And a couple other guys, they're not even worth mentioning because I can't even remember them.
Due diligence would have been calling Frank Corrado.
Yeah. Yeah. Due diligence. Exactly. Call Johan Franz and ask him how he feels. Well, and I think, or Valtteri Filppula, who refused to come to the Leafs under Mike Babcock in a trade at the 16-17 trade deadline. There are things that I'm concerned about for the Blue Jackets. They've got great prospects. We've talked about it. They do have great talent on that roster, and they've got an opportunity to move players around and grab some great assets. Apparently, they were in on Elias Lindholm, and it came really close. Why? I don't know. And this is the problem. The Lindholm thing is the thing that freaks me out.
Well,
because I don't
it freaked them out.
What's that?
I think it freaked them out.
What, Columbus?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, why would you fire him now? I think they were happy to let him do the rest of the season, let him go into the trade deadline, and at some point he's like, here's what I got going on for the trade deadline, and I think those above him were like, what are you talking about? That's the only fathomable reason I can think of that for the timing.
I like that logic.
Because
the timing doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make, we're going to let him go. Hey, what do you got on the run? Oh, that's all stupid.
They didn't trust this person to go through March 8th.
So my question is, the guy that kept him there all these years and advocated for him, do you trust him?
No, not even a little.
But there's no one above him that's making a decision.
Because the family likes John Davidson.
Well, I heard a rumor.
What did you hear?
I got a little tip. Now, this is a ways away. I don't think they're doing this now. I think they would obviously wait until, at very minimum, just before the draft. I think this is something that probably won't happen until at least May. But the name I heard bandied about for the vacant Columbus GM job is Mark Hunter of the London Knights. Well, how does that make any sense? He was the AGM with the Leafs. Mm-hmm. We know that. The Columbus Blue Jackets are deeply, deeply tied into the London Knights organization. Rick Nash is, their most treasured son. And he was a London Knight for a very long time. I believe he's part of the organization now. And Basil McRae, who is the assistant GM of the Blue Jackets, I believe is also one of the co-owners of the London Knights. He's very high up in the London Knights, and he was part of that organization for a long time. So when I heard that rumor, it made a little too much sense to me. They didn't say it was a done deal, but I've gotten good information from them before. So let's see.
Interesting. Well, and Mark Hunter, who famously resigned from the Leafs when he didn't get the general manager's job, and nobody has come after him for it since.
Dude,
he's not even been in rumors. That's interesting.
That let's say he does become the GM of the Blue Jackets. That first game against the Leafs is going to be a huge money on the board game. He was not happy about how that went down. He wanted that job.
I wonder how that did go down, because it seems like he was unhappy, Lou was unhappy. And Lou said in his opening press conference in Toronto, like, if Kyle doesn't take it over for me in the next, or, after this 3-year deal is up, then something's wrong. And then all of a sudden he's like, nah, I don't like that.
Actually, I think I'm going to stay.
That's weird, huh?
I'm going to stay. I'm going to actually, you know what? I've decided I'm going to go to New York, take a team that on paper should be in last, and make the playoffs.
One of the things that Greg Wyshynski was saying, and we'll talk about this a little bit later because I don't want to get into it right now, when he was on our All-Star panels at All-Star, he was saying that the trade deadline's not looking like great names, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if they are veering off of what Jarmo's plan was, which is add more veteran talent, please stop playing rookies. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, we've got great rookies, let's never play them. Which has been the Columbus Blue Jackets year, the entire year.
Totally.
How do we make it harder for Juracek and Ken Johnson to establish themselves in the NHL? Could we make it harder? I wonder if that opens up some names that we weren't really expecting. Is a Provorov available? is Johnny Gaudreau either now or this summer? Like, does he fit into whatever the next plan is? Because it was very clear that they wanted to have good rookies and strong veterans, right?
I mean, I think it's a reasonable assumption that Johnny Gaudreau would probably welcome
A move somewhere.
move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or anyone on that friggin' team, dude.
I'm curious. I'm really curious about it. I think it'll be a very interesting time. And I guess we'll see, but I hope it opens up more on the trade deadline.
Kekäläinen either got gassed for the moves he was going to make or wasn't going to make. Could be both. I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Jesse just sent over the jersey that was revealed yesterday. Okay. And this is Tampa Bay's third jersey.
Can I put on my glasses?
Yeah, you can.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you've seen these.
Yes.
Okay. Now, mixed reaction. Some loved, some hated. But Tampa is famous for ripping off jerseys from other teams, specifically the Toronto Maple Leafs. Their main jerseys look like Leaf jerseys. No one can deny that. And the Leafs allowed them to use that shade of blue, which I'll never understand.
They appear to have ripped off every police department.
So here's the jersey. And then, Jesse, I sent another one through. And this jersey reminds me, while we're on the subject of Columbus, of Columbus's third jersey.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, remember the Leaf jersey they used to sell in Walmart that was black? Like, I'm not saying it as an insult. Do you remember that?
No.
It was like a knockoff Leaf jersey, but it was sold officially at Walmart, and
No.
everyone had it. I think that's part of the reason why we like the Drew House jerseys. Like,
I think Drew House jerseys just look nice.
they're nice.
This is a bit of a stretch, Adam.
Is it? That is the same jersey.
No,
It's the
one of them
same.
So
That logo is the same.
okay, so it doesn't have the shoulder whites. It doesn't have the bottom stripes.
Logo, baby.
The stripes on the shoulders are different as well. The logo is a circle.
It's the same.
I think
Oh, and by the way, the lightning the lightning thing is ugly. So is the Blue Jackets one. I don't think either are great. I like it. Yeah,
I like
it?
this jersey. Yeah.
I think it's just boring. Also, I'm done with the special jerseys. Can we get back to just team has one jersey and then an alternate?
I just like the off-white. I think it's just a nice look.
you like the off-white. Yeah. You know what I don't understand? Again, it's February. What day is yesterday? 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Your debut in a jersey today.
Like what is up with that? That's an interesting one. Was there a special reason for that?
You didn't feel like getting on this earlier? Like, is this you trying to sell some jerseys ahead of the playoffs? Like, you know when you want to debut a jersey is after Christmas. Famously, is you want to like that's weird, right?
Well, I wonder if they'd already had the photo shoot done with Stamkos in it, and they're like, "Hey, we better get this out because he might not be here next year." I'm kidding; those are totally photoshopped.
I don't hate the jersey. But it's the same conversation we've. Oh my God!
Whoa!
Oh my God!
You're not wrong.
You know what? I've decided it's a handsome jersey, but it's a ripoff. Jesse, bring it up. How dare you? I can't believe this. I can't believe this. You know what? It is a ripoff jersey. Jesse's about to put it up. Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
All right.
They ripped off the SCPN jersey. They ripped off the Dangle Navy jersey. You sons of my guns. You know what?
Garbage.
We won't take you to court if you trade Stamkos to Toronto for a 7th. That's it. He shoots right. We'll make him play D.
Oh man, it'd be great.
It'd be so
Imagine you have Matthews on one line, Stamkos on the next.
Yes.
Oh,
Steve, you look good in this picture.
yeah, you do.
Thanks, bro.
This is a nice little picture.
What a hottie.
Feels like the implication is I don't look good anymore.
That is not the implication.
It feels like that's
How would that be the implication?
that's the quintessential Twitter reaction.
What?
So you hate how I look now? I'm gonna Brett Laurie you across the friggin'. How dare you?
I don't mind these Lightning jerseys.
No. Well,
Yeah.
it's
Boo Lightning.
it's the conversation that we always have when a team comes up with an alternate. Is it a good jersey or do you just like the color black? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it was the Carolina one. Is this a good jersey or is red just nice? It's fine.
Didn't they?
It's fine.
They just came out with another one, didn't they not? The pirate one?
Yeah, what happened to that?
I love that one. Here, let me try and find it.
Okay, here's what I don't love about that. They're not pirates. That's not what the Lightning are.
No, there's some like history with that. It's honoring something.
Is it that the Bucks also play there?
It was a warm-up jersey. Gasparilla. Adam, what is that? Tampa Bay celebrates annual local festival in style.
Oh, that's sick. I like that.
Well,
I
that's
love sick. Why don't they go with that?
That's totally different.
Yeah, and this logo, like this pirate logo,
That's
like,
awesome.
that should be your alt jersey. Fuck are you talking about, Lightning? Oh, look at how badass that is.
That is sick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wait a sec. That was Alex Killorn.
Was last year.
Oh, damn. I thought this was new.
Couldn't they?
I guess they brought it back this year, but this article is from last year.
I know that's like the
I
Adidas
loved it.
practice, but couldn't they? If you put a stripe on that at the bottom, that's a perfect jersey.
Yeah, just make it the
Pretty much.
alt jersey. This is awesome.
This is what I'm saying. All these extra jerseys, it makes you move off of what might be a great idea very quickly because it's like, oh, we got to come up with another one now. Holy shit. Like that is, you got it. You already did it. Stop perfecting it. It's perfect.
As a Leaf fan, I would like the Lightning to start wearing black as their primary. Please.
You hate that so much.
Dude, they're identical.
It's bullshit.
They're identical. On Hockey DB, they look like they play for the same team. Canucks too, low key, actually.
Yeah, when they have the shoulder shot and the head shot. Yeah.
It's the same.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
You know, guys,
This is the best logo. Go with this.
I may not know much about anything, but I do know that in hockey, when your team can't score, losing a goal scorer can be detrimental. Crazy hot take from your boy Adam Wild. Jake Guentzel will be injured for the next 4 weeks, making the trade deadline potentially less interesting. But also, I mean, if anybody's going to score on the power play,
dude, it makes the Penguins a far more clear seller, but it takes away their greatest chip. It's worst case scenario for them. It'd be better if like Crosby or Malkin was out. Like,
yeah, because they're not getting traded.
Dude, it's terrible. It's really terrible.
Yeah. Now,
Can he still be traded? Can
Yeah.
you trade
Yeah, sure.
somebody who's on IR? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
like, do you want that?
it definitely brings the value down because it's like, how bad is he injured?
Right. I still think there's a possibility he gets traded.
Yeah,
Like-
but it'll take him into like mid-March, and then you have, I don't know, a dozen games to get a player recovering from injury acclimated to your lineup.
Right. But there's
Not
still
the
a
best.
possibility, you sell on him just so you don't lose him for nothing. If you're not going to resign Guentzel,
totally.
If you're Dubas, maybe you just move him for anything so that he doesn't just walk, especially if they're going to miss the playoffs,
Well,
which is looking more and more likely. Even though they picked up that win last night.
history
That last
history typically indicates the future, so Dubas will lose him for nothing.
Never happened in Toronto.
Stop it.
Own rental.
Own rental. We think we have a great team here. Now, Jesse and Steve and I were having a quick conversation beforehand because there are two schools of thoughts, right? There's the Greg Wyshynski, this deadline's boring, and there aren't a lot of great names. And then there are people that we've heard from that have compared it to a pending volcano. Okay? And they'll remain nameless for now.
Spicy.
Like, as in, everybody's holding so tight. We had a little bit of a leakage with Lindholm to Vancouver, but that was it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It was not-
You know, we know that New Jersey wants a goaltender.
We got Monahan too.
Oh, yeah, Monahan. Yeah, that's right.
And Zadorov way earlier.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that as like deadline fodder, though, right? Because it was
That's
like a
just a
November
trade.
move.
Right.
Yeah. But I look at the Markstrom. Like, Markstrom to New Jersey needs to happen. Everybody wants it to happen. Murray Edwards is like, no, I will not retain.
Calgary down the barrel of the fucking camera. Don't play with me, Calgary.
They're gonna.
Don't play with me, Craig. You better be traded, everyone, Craig. I'm sick of the noise, Craig. I work nights, Craig. You're keeping me up. Knock that shit off. Hanifin has always been in there. Who else has always been in there in these trade
Tanev.
rumors? Tanev has always been in these trade rumors. Now you're throwing Markstrom and Rasmus Anderson in there? You better be the star of the show on Marth 8th, Craig. March 8th?
March
March 8th. Don't play with me, Craig. Sick of this shit.
You're good.
Listen,
You got it
Marth
back.
Eighth.
Yeah.
Marth Eighth.
Marth Eighth.
We're not expecting.
That's to be the title of the.
Marth Eighth.
Marth Eighth.
Marth Eighth.
We're not expecting this to be a great trade deadline. Although I think sneakily it could be. But Jesse, you were going through some of the names that could have been dealt at last trade deadline and comparing and contrasting.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, so what do we got? What do we got right now? We got like Sean Walker, Scott Lawton. Okay, we got Hannafin. Great player. Not necessarily like a marketable star yet.
Just go to Cap.
But still a
Friendly.
great player.
Just go to Cap Friendly. The Flames roster. They're on the trade board. All of them.
Is Kadri available?
So heading into because some of these players moved well before.
Yeah, but trade
the deadline.
boards.
But heading into December 1st, 2022, some of the names we were throwing out there included Horvat, Erik Karlsson, Jacob Chikrin, who eventually went to Ottawa. Erik Karlsson was not moved. Horvat was moved ahead of the deadline. We had John Klingberg, who moved at the deadline. Sean Monahan. That was a thing. Gavrikov, Tyler Myers, Patrick Kane, Timo Meier, Kasperi Kapanen. That's a list of 10 names.
And that was the December list.
Yeah, that was
that's
the
the way
December
too early list, right?
So if we compare that to this year's December list, I think I like last year's a lot better.
Now, my question, guys, is can some of that open up? And I'm going to specifically ask you about one team.
Okay.
Now, we know Calgary is probably a little bit on the heavily trade. You expect them to make some trades now and at the draft. You expect that Philadelphia might be a player, even though they're winning, and it's like, so Philly's in a weird spot, but I still think that Danny Briere is like, no, we're doing this. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, but then Philly's like, oh, Sean Walker.
Right. It's Sean Walker and Scott Lawton.
That's not a 5-star name.
Right? You've got Adam Henrique, as I told you, now worth a first-round pick. Look at that. Sean Monahan was too. This is crazy.
Tarasenko on the Sens.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a guy.
Here's a team that I'm interested in, the most interested in. And this is because this team last night put up one shot in the first period, and that is the Nashville Predators. They were outshot 18-1 in the first period against the Dallas Stars. And I think it's finally time. Can we please, Barry Trotz, finally admit it's time to retool? I'm not saying rebuild, retool. And people gave me shit when I said Ryan O'Reilly signed there because it's not like he signed there hoping he was going to win the cup. And then he gave a bunch of interviews and he's like, well, why can't we contend? You can't contend because you're not good enough. That's why.
Damn.
And I think it might be time. There are good pieces there. O'Reilly, Shen, probably part of the future. That's great. I think it's time to move on from some pieces.
9-2.
That smells familiar.
The one thing that works in Nashville's favor this year and not selling is that there's a free playoff spot in the Western Conference.
Yes, that's
that
true.
Nobody wants because there are only 7 decent teams, and a couple of those teams in the 7 aren't even that good.
So sell to one of the suckers that think they should be in that spot.
All right, so you got that extra spot in the West that is going to go to the Blues, the Preds, the Kraken, the Wild, and like the Flames might still think they're in it, but they're not in it. So like, if you want to be in this thing and compete, you can. If you're Barry Trotz.
I cannot believe that team I watched the other night is in a playoff spot. I cannot fucking believe it.
Now, the Predators, by the way, are 4 points behind the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're one of the hottest teams in the NHL.
The Blues are, yeah.
That's impossible.
The Preds are 3-6-1.
Yeah, no, the Preds suck.
The Blues, they did have the All-Star break in between that.
Yeah.
But they are pretty hot.
When did the Wild win 4 straight? What the fuck? Sorry.
Yeah, but the Wild could still sell. I'm looking at some of the teams near the bottom who would be selling-ish, and it's like, what do you have to sell? Coyotes, it looked like they could actually make the playoffs earlier this year. They've kind of fallen off, especially the last 10 has been terrible. The Ducks really don't have a lot outside of Henrique or potentially Trevor Zegras, which his name has been getting out there.
To Montreal?
Yeah, Marc-Antoine and Arpin were talking about that yesterday.
Yep.
San Jose doesn't have a lot to sell. Hurdle's now injured too, so if you were going to try to move him, you can't until he's healthy, probably. Blackhawks have nobody. Like, nobody's going to buy it from the Blackhawks.
Look at the friggin' goal differential.
But
The
Blackhawks or
bottom
the Sharks?
4 teams in the Western Conference would all be the last team in the East.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean like literally by points.
Ducks -44. Sharks -90. Blackhawks -79.
Sorry, last 3 teams,
And what's
not the Coyotes.
complicating this trade deadline are people like the Columbus Blue Jackets on Ottawa Senators, who are the last two teams in the Eastern Conference, going out and saying, we would like to buy, please. The Senators going, no, we're not going to sell. We're going to go after Chris Tanev. The Blue Jackets up until yesterday going, no, we're not going to sell. We're going after Lindholm. The Sabres don't want to sell. The Canadians don't have a lot to sell unless it's Jake Allen. That's not a lot.
Goaltending.
The Caps, what can they sell?
Not tickets to building.
No,
in a different
I know you're
state.
trying to make it, but what do they have?
Not a lot.
Penguins are probably not going to sell, right? Because they're hanging on with both hands.
But you're missing something that's very important to us and the broadcast overlords of this country.
What is it?
Even if it's a quiet trade deadline, by and large,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be loud in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
The Canucks are buying.
From who?
I don't know. The Jets are buying.
From who?
Maybe from the Flames, who are selling.
I think there's a lot of teams that are deluding themselves into thinking that, like the Wild are finally on the block. They're finally going, you know what? Maybe we should sell. They've got pieces they could sell.
Well,
But like there's a lot of bad teams. And Ottawa, I know they had their moment against Toronto, but they went out and played Columbus next and did great. But like, let's be honest, that's not a great team.
they got murdered by the Ducks yesterday, and I'm like, I hate my team.
I know.
How do you get?
How does
do you
that
lose
happen?
5-1 to the Ducks?
But
what
this
the
is-
fuck, guys?
This is my point is like even the last place teams are like, no, we will buy. Why? What are we doing?
Max Celebrini, I hope he scores 50 goals.
Are you asking them just to sell for content?
Yes.
That's 100%.
Also,
what
I'm asking them to be realistic about where they are.
Right.
Like Columbus, just be bad. You've got great pieces. Start selling, baby. Start grabbing those prospects and blue chip prospects and draft picks and all that stuff. And then this summer, weaponize your cap space. Either go out and sign somebody or be the third team on a trade and retain some salary and get more assets out of
I
it.
think the Blue Jackets have their future pieces. It's about accentuating them. And
How about
protecting-
more future pieces?
Well,
That's
that could-
crazy. Here's the problem with
that
the
could
Leafs.
help.
The Leafs had future pieces. They became Marner, Matthews, Nylander.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were supposed to have a secondary run where they had Janssen and Kapanen and
Well, Hyman.
Hyman was.
They got rid of them all.
Hyman was
Problem.
no. Most
Trevor
of them weren't
Moore.
that good, and because they didn't. Was Janssen and Kapanen, were they that great? Kapanen who could barely keep an NHL
No.
job and Janssen who's no longer in it?
Well, you fucking pick up your
All I'm
fucking-
saying
Why are you
is,
so pressed now?
all I'm saying is the Columbus Blue Jackets have an opportunity here. The Ottawa Senators have an opportunity here to get more good people. Take it.
No.
Don't trade assets for Chris Tanev, Ottawa. I know he's a good pro. Sign him in the summer.
They're going to trade Tarasenko, though, which was a CJ8
Great.
the live show.
Of course,
So-
they were always going to trade him.
The Canucks have been noisy. Hopefully we'll get noisier. The Jets have been noisy. Hopefully get noisier. Oilers, no noise. That's going to get noisy.
Oh,
We
yeah.
know it's
On one of the trade boards I was looking at, they had at number 4 the Oilers' first round pick.
That's hilarious.
Like that's good.
I like that.
the
That's not a high value pick either. Like I don't know what people are kidding.
No, but it's the
That's
first.
a 25, 26 overall.
Hopefully 32nd, but it's a first round pick, so it's going to be valuable to some organization.
the Flames are like a frat party after exams. That's how noisy they are. The Leafs are always noisy. Sens have been noisy. And the Habs, always in there. Always involved in something. They're probably going to sell just a little.
Habs fans are very happy with the team recently.
Yeah. I mean, they've been good. They've been good.
Any progress there is progress. You gotta. It's all graded on a curve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember cheering for those pre-Matthews Leafs teams.
Man, Parent Ovechkin.
Parentovechkin, baby. Yeah, so even if it's not the greatest trade deadline, I think all fans of Canadian teams are going to have something to talk about.
I need Nashville to accept that this is not a good team yet.
Call your GM. It's time you had the talk. Don't make me sing the whole fucking
What's the song?
Adam.
What song is that?
Robin. It's fucking. She tells the person who's cheating on their significant other with her that it's time that he leave her.
I only know Dancing on My
It's
Own.
a catchy song
Okay.
about a terrible subject. You're actually kind of a bad person for doing that, Robin. But
Wow.
anyway, it's a banger though. It's a tune.
did not expect you to be a Robin fan.
No.
The trade deadline will be very, very interesting. If a guy like Rasmus Andersson hits the market, the haul for him is going to be crazy.
Oh my God.
Like, great defenseman and 2 years left at a reasonable cap hit. Scary.
Like, it's funny. A lot of Leaf fans have been like, no, screw you. Protect the prospects, protect the picks. And then Rasmus Andersson's name came up yesterday, and they're like, take it all.
I'd give
We
everything.
don't give a shit.
I'd give
There
everything.
was the report yesterday from CJ about how the Brad Treliving's unwilling to move the first round pick because they've sent the first round pick so many times out the last couple of years, and they have no seconds for the next 3 drafts, and they have a bunch of thirds and all that stuff. And I just sat there yesterday watching Auston Matthews in the second period score 3 goals. And every single year that you have Auston Matthews playing at this level needs to be a go for a year.
Yeah,
I don't care about first round picks anymore. Like, I was on the bandwagon of like, don't sell the farm for right now just on the chance that you could win a series or anything. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're right,
So
man.
every year you have Auston Matthews. You have a shot. You have a generational superstar. Just go do it.
Go do it.
You know, the thing is, Jess, I think you're 100% on that one. And so they use this first round pick this year that's somewhere in the 20s.
Well, 4 years from now, that
man.
could be crazy.
They could get another Easton Cowan.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I think I like Easton Cowan a lot. I think that's great. But we're not in the range where we're rebuilding anymore. Go, and if you're going to use the first, and I think there's a point to this, which is Brad Treliving is saying to all the people that are talking to Brad through his channels or whatever, and whatever filters out into the world, I'm not trading this unless, because everybody says that. I'm not trading it. If you say that you are trading it, well, then the value goes down. If you say that you're not trading it, well, but if you put a crazy package in front of me, I would trade it. And I think that's what they're looking for.
Who doesn't want a crazy package in front of them?
Well, if you
know
can
what I
have,
mean?
if you can have
You know
a
what I
Rasmus
mean?
Andersson for first round pick plus whatever it is, I don't know what the deal would look like, then you don't need the first round pick. You have the
then
defenseman.
You have the guy that you would hopefully draft and in 10 years would turn into Rasmus Andersson.
Yes.
Just go get the guys and support the players you have now. You just signed Willie to $1 bajillion for the next 20 years. What are you going to do?
haven't
Not
heard.
win? Like,
Well-
you have to win. You don't have a choice.
No.
You know what? I have good news. You guys are forgetting the good news. Because this podcast is eventually going to end. Like, we'll have to wrap it up for today, and people are going to be sad.
Yep.
They could then turn on the CJ show, which is releasing an episode today and has all sorts of information on this stuff that we're guessing about, and he may have answers. I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, that's what you want to say. I
wanted to promote one of our fucking
You're going to
shows.
make a point about what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
No, fuck that. Stupid. No, why would I do that? Lame.
No, why would you
Give
do
it.
that?
Give me the.
Why would you do that?
Give me the Aussie Toronto joke again. That was.
It was underrated. Toronto. How fucking dare you? That was a great line.
All right, I think
right.
we need to go
Let's
home.
wrap it up then. It's Friday. Enjoy. They let you get to Friday. They did.
Who?
We're here. They.
Who's them?
The man. John Tortorella let you get here. And he was like, screw you and your
Yeah.
bad music.
Now hang out with your entourage and let them tell you to listen to the CJ show and also subscribe to SDP VIP. And also, what else?
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.